In an effort to shed pounds, humans have engaged in some pretty wacky, not to mention dangerous, stunts. There's the cookie diet, or cabbage soup. There's smoking yourself thin, fighting fat with tapeworm larvae, even injections with the urine of pregnant women. Yep, all of these supposed weight loss strategies have been tried by some very motivated people, which only proves that desperation often rules where excess fat is concerned. But, effective weight loss can actually be quite simple, even boring. It can just be a matter of identifying habits that make us overeat, and then disrupting our patterns in slightly uncomfortable ways. For example? Well, here's one pattern-busting method that may easily and organically entice us to eat 30% less in a sitting, and without some bizarre diet plan or other toxic stunt. Want some insight into our eating habits while also being endlessly entertained? Check out a TV show called Secret Eaters, formerly broadcast on Channel 4 in the UK. In addition to proving how clueless some of us are in terms of our daily calorie intake, the show stages some clever experiments to expose our most unconscious eating habits, and some of this is quite fascinating. For example, one experiment looked at the way we mindlessly eat at the movies. In an almost pitch-black environment, staring at a massive screen that emits lights, sounds, and action, most of us give little thought to what we're doing with our hands and mouths. But a group of study participants were forced to be more mindful. Given both a large container of popcorn and an oven mitt, the group of 25 were then instructed to wear the obtrusive glove on their dominant hand. This meant they would have to eat with their non-dominant hand, which would require a little more attention than usual. Surprisingly, this little more attention made a lot of difference in how much was eaten. Compared to a control group of another 25 people who were not fitted with an oven mitt, and thus allowed to eat however they liked, the group forced into eating with their non-dominant hand ate a whopping 23% less popcorn. When interviewed after the experiment, some participants commented on the awkwardness they felt in using their weaker hand. But this was clearly an advantage for weight loss, as they also spent much more time thinking about how often they were eating compared to the control group. A similar study has been done by the University of Southern California. This one, though, has a bit of a twist. Here, participants were given either fresh or week-old stale popcorn. After the first test, the researchers found that the participants who claimed to love popcorn the most actually ate about the same amount, whether it was fresh or stale. But the second test switched things up a bit, as this group was then forced to use their non-dominant hand to eat with. And just by having to think a bit more, because of the hand they were using, the group became considerably less enamored by the stale stuff. When forced to pay more attention to exactly what they were eating, even the most popcorn addicted of them ended up eating a whopping 30% less. This result caused one of the study researchers to comment that it's inconvenient and disruptive to eat with a non-dominant hand, but that effect is much stronger when the food is horrible. So, how often do you mindlessly eat even when the food is bad? Or just bad for you? We've all done it, and it usually happens when something, like a movie, is distracting us from a clearer understanding of what we're putting our bodies through. Simply using our weaker hand can put us in a position of strength when it comes to weight loss, and is far simpler and more appealing than a cigarette or a cup of cabbage soup.